Sip Deepatma, Sip Premchandji, Sip Gigi. Sip Prakash, Sip Parvati, Sip Girish Ananda, Sip Sagai, Sip Tina, Sip Harshal, Sip Laveen, Sip Rekha, Sip Sarla, Sip Rutanu, Sip Sukeshni, Sip Anand, Sip Sadanand, Sip Rajendra, Sip Siva, Sip Will, Sip Lawrence, and the rest of you whom I cannot see. I welcome you to this call. And today we have an interesting subject. The subject is called yoga. So I think I was inspired by, I think Jasmine, who spoke about yoga. I don't know if Jasmine's on the call, but here we are today talking on a subject which is a very, very important spiritual subject. What is yoga? Can you do yoga? People say, I'm going for yoga. People think yoga is exercise. People think it is breathing. What are the types of yoga? What is the benefit of yoga? Who is a yogi? What is the opposite of yoga? What is the real meaning of yoga? Etc., etc., etc. The Manu is there? Which one? Which was on the intro. So there you are. Let us start. Who is the first question is being asked by Ru Mataji. FC Manu. Ru Mataji Anand. Pranam
Guruji Shivoham. Guruji, yoga is derived from word yuj. That means we are in union with, and we are in Satchit Anand when we are in yoga only. And we cannot.
Ru Mataji, what is this yoga business?
Guruji, yoga, people think yoga is breathing exercises or this. No, yoga is union with Sip. We cannot stick to one form of yoga. We have to pass through all the yogas. Gyan yoga, Dhyan yoga, Bhakti yoga. And then above all that is Prem yoga. When we are spending time in all these forms of yoga, then we are in Satchit Anand and we are one with Sip. And we are not in Bhoga. I feel this is yoga.
Okay, good start. Ru Mataji has given us some impetus, some start on the subject of yoga. But today, by the end of this call, you should become a yoga master. You should become a yoga master. You should be so good in yoga. You should know A to Z of yoga. What is yoga? If you are a spiritual person, you must know yoga. If you don't know yoga, you can't say I'm spiritual. So, Anand.
Shivam Guruji.
Sir.
So I think Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra, he says, the first shloka, he says, Atha Yoga Anushasanam, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So I think he says yoga is the practice of self-discipline in the first line. And in the second line itself, he says that yoga is a practice through which you can remove all the vrittis or the modulation. So in our language that we use in the call, I would say it is the practice to kill the mind so that we remain in consciousness.
Very good. At least Anand is not getting technically, when you get too much flabbergasted is the problem. Anand is making it very simple. He is quoting Patanjali. Thank you, Anand, for quoting. Patanjali is supposed to be one of the biggest saints of yoga. Patanjali yoga is known. And what else have you learned, Anand, from the Patanjali yoga?
No, I think that's my favorite book. I can talk a lot on that.
No, but what have you learned? What exactly have give us a since you are in the beginning? What could you share with us about what have you learned about yoga from the Patanjali book?
One of the most favorite quote that I have learned from him is then I think in the very next thing he teaches us how you can achieve yoga. So he says that for that you need to do abhyasa and vairagya. And the best definition I like about him is he quotes about abhyasa. He says, Satu dirgha kala nairantarya satkara sevito drida bhumim. So he says, abhyasa is something, Satu dirgha kala. You need to practice it for a long time. Nairantarya, without a break. So lot of time what happens is we don't have patience or we don't do it continuously. or if something we do it continuously for a long time, we lose respect. It just becomes automatic. So he says, with satkara sevito, with lot of honor and respect, then you will get firmly established in that particular thing. So that is my most favorite shloka I have from that
So
book.
I'm asking you my last question. So according to you, if you summarize, according to Patanjali, what is yoga? According to, if you have to teach somebody who's completely new in simple words, since we use simplicity, what exactly is the summary of yoga?
So what essentially he says is, normally we are in the mind mode, and we are, the senses move outwards. So we are mostly stuck on the scenery thing. He says the yoga is the part where you take that attention inward and get established in the self.
Does he also talk of yuj and union like Rubandaji spoke?
I mean, that is the Sanskrit word, yuj itself. I mean, later on he, kind of defines that union in different ways, but not from this aspect of union of this thing. Huge means union. I think those are commentaries that people give, but that doesn't come in his sutras.
Does he talk of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, or not?
No, he doesn't talk. So he's very technical. He just tells what you have to do. If you do, what happens. If you don't do, what will happen.
And the ultimate goal, have you picked up, is samadhi from him?
Even beyond samadhi, right? He calls it as samyama, and so basically he defines ashtanga, right? The 8 limbs of yoga, and he says that the first 5 are bahiranga sadhana, and the last 3, which is dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, basically that is the antaranga sadhana. And when you do all the 3 combined, then he calls it as samyama, and then he says by doing samyama on different things, how you can achieve different siddhis. But he says if you achieve those siddhis, that itself will also become a bottleneck. So you need to go beyond it.
Very good. So we have a Patanjali master in a group. I did not know we have Anand was Patanjali master.
No,
so
I really like that book. I've read it multiple times, many things. But again, it's not my anubhuti, but I just can, like a parrot rattau it out.
No.
But
So
one day I want to be.
And in the course of the discussion, you can share what you have. See, what my only thing is, it's good to read and good to absorb. But ultimately, after reading, the goal is that awakening.
Anubhuti, correct. I agree.
So if I know yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, but if I'm in that vritti, what he calls the mind, then there's no use. Yoga is that state when you reach that union where there is no bhoga. So the way we explain it, we try to explain it in a very simple way, which is, of course, Patanjali is more a saint trying to explain it in his own classical style. But thank you, Anand. If something you'd like to pop in, I invite you to pop in to contribute today, because yoga, of course, encompasses a very big subject. And I was gifted with Prema Yoga, which I believe is one of the greatest yogas, which is see sip in all, love sip in all, and serve sip in all. Will, thank you, Anand. Will, Lawrence, Rekha, Bliss.
Siva Hangsip, thank you very much. I think that we've already almost finished the discussion, because it's been so, we've already finished. So I can only reflect. I think, of course, there are 5 yogas, and you have discriminated. In fact, you have said there are 10 yogas, because there's bhakti and there's bhakti yoga, there's prema and then prema yoga. So there are 10 yogas, not 5. Well, no, there are 5.
There are 5 states. There are 5 states. There are 5 states which become yoga. Yoga. So only 5 yogas.
And you've said that where there's yoga means there's no bhoga. But you also kind of said there that yoga means samadhi. So my question is, does yoga mean samadhi, or does yoga mean consciousness? That's the difference.
Yoga means yoga. Yoga means will. The moment you are united with the sip, you are in yoga.
So that means enlightenment then?
No, it means united. And in that state of unison, you can be enlightened.
So when you're united with sip, it does not necessarily mean enlightenment.
Let me explain. Suppose in this moment, you and me are talking through the method of jnana yoga, education and wisdom. You're completely connected to sip in this 1 hour call. Okay?
Yes, sir.
But after this 1 hour call, you go back into having a nice peg of Johnny Walker and you lose the yoga and you get into bhoga. Then what happens?
You're back in Boga. You're going back.
Got it. So there are two stages of yoga. One stage of yoga before enlightenment, and one stage of yoga after enlightenment.
Yes, sir.
I hope you get the point. Anybody can be in yoga. Anybody can be in yoga for 10 minutes. But samadhi is the ability to be in yoga eternity. When you reach that state of samadhi, which means you have already been able to still the mind, you kill the mind. You've reached a state where you are united with Sip. Nothing can disconnect. The moment you become connected eternally, you become a yogi. The moment you become a yogi, then you don't go out of yoga.
So you've just equated samadhi with the final accomplishment. That's what you said. You said when you reach when you said when you get to samadhi, you can't go backwards. That's what you said.
See, so samadhi is the state. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana. Means Patanjali says that when you reach a state of samadhi,
yes,
honestly, that state of samadhi is a very spiritually, what they say, sannyasi, tapasvi. It's a highly advanced state of spirituality.
Yes, sir.
So that state of samadhi is looked at those saints who are in the mountains, who are in the forest, who forget to eat for days together. Now, it's very difficult to practically do that samadhi state in the current current world situation. So samadhi for you and me, Will, what is samadhi for you and me? When we are able to still the mind, and we are able to reach the state of consciousness, we lock the mind, we block the mind, we activate the intellect, and we remain in the state of consciousness. That can be a practical meaning of being in samadhi.
Thank you, sir.
Then in that state of samadhi, you have to be united with Siva. If you're in the state of samadhi, you can be, normally it's only dhyana yoga. But if you're not in samadhi, you're in prema yoga, you're walking around the planet, or you're serving like Mother Teresa, you're serving millions of people, then you're a karma yogi. You are just singing on Krishna and you're singing Hallelujah. You can be in bhakti yoga. So samadhi is more to do with dhyana yoga. It is more a meditative yoga. Am I right, Anand? Is it more to do with meditation, Anand? So samadhi is one type of yoga. But Will, can you be 24/7 in that samadhi?
No, sir.
You cannot. You have to get up from samadhi. You have to eat. You have to look at who the hell is in your family, who's around you, who's falling sick in your house. How can you be all the time in samadhi?
My question, Swamiji, is what is very good about these sessions is you're learning to define terms. The group are gradually coming to strong definition of terms. But what I would say is if you want a definition of samadhi, it would be useful to ask the Buddhists for their definition, because you can't, I think you'll find it difficult to ignore the Buddha statement on it. That's all.
No, we will try. You try to bring that, but if Anand can define samadhi for us from Patanjali, maybe Anand can give a one line. To me, before Anand even attempts, to me, samadhi is that state, what he said, of being able to still the mind. Vritti, nirodha, what the Sanskrit word he will tell. Samadhi is that state when you are able to completely be in state of awareness, a state of consciousness.
It might be interesting to see Ananda and one of a senior a monk discussing, because I think there are slight differences. I'm not saying.
Why don't you bring it to the call? Whenever you can, bring it to the call.
Yes, sir. Okay. Sir.
What is samadhi Buddhist perspective? But I'm requesting if Anand before the end of the call can give. Thank you, Will. We'll move to Lawrence and Rekha, Bliss and Archie.
Sip Shivam. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is your personal Big Apple Atman dude here for the morning. Oh, it's morning here in New York. And yes, I picture myself just now as you're speaking, okay, in the middle of Times Square. And there I was. And everyone there was full of light. That would be yoga. You know how the New York skyline, it comes on all at once, all of a sudden, as say you're coming on a ferry. So my definition then is, I wrote it down because I felt yoga is this sublime dynamic mystery of true love of the soul, Atman, and beloved Godhead, ground of our being. And it's getting, what do I do? It's getting on the right wavelength for the ocean of divine true love union. So it's kind of like this constant, continuous surprise, true love. So ask the heart. Don't ask the scriptures. Don't ask the experts. Ask our heart, the inner light within. That's what I can say.
You're beautifully talking of prema yoga. What you're speaking about is one form of union. For example, with Mother Teresa, she was serving the poor as Jesus. She was able to serve
Yes,
but there was no scope of love there. There was compassion. There was compassion, what Will would call karuna. The Buddhists call it karuna.
You don't think she loved the Christ self within each
I'm not
of
saying
those persons?
Lawrence. I'm not saying
Just
she
wonder.
did not love, but her love appeared in the emotion of compassion, which was far more
Sure.
different from. See, love is different. When you love your beloved, is it the same of having compassion for your beloved?
No, it's not. It's well, it's
They're
union. You
two,
seek
they're
union.
two,
Yeah.
they're two different union. They're two different emotions. So you can have emotion of prema yoga, where you love the beloved, sip, and you can have karma yoga,
Right.
where
I think
you can go into the street, and if it's a dog whose leg is broken, you take that dog and see God in the dog. That is compassion, which is another form of love.
oh,
It's
of
not the
course.
same as love.
See, no, I think too, like, we had a discussion of, about soulmates and, true soulmates. And I think that's true. That can be applicable, say, if we're on the path and we are doing yoga and we're a householder, we're not an ascetic or
Absolutely.
monastic,
Two soulmates are nothing but in yoga. That is also a mark of yoga. When two become one,
And
that
that's
is
the
yoga.
only real way they can be happy. That's the true lasting happiness,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, of course.
It won't
Thank
last
you,
otherwise.
Lawrence. Lawrence has
Oh.
brought up prema yoga.
Acha.
Rekha, Bliss, Archie.
Shivohamer,
Yes, Soham.
I want to give meaning to the word yoga with your
Yes,
bhajan.
please. Thank you for coming back to the topic. Yes.
With the bhajan, it's yogi jo yog mein sada hi rahe, prabhu ke yog mein rahe,
Very beautiful.
samsar maya mein na wo atke, sada yog mein wo rahe, prabhu ki प्यास हो सदा, प्रभु से प्यार वो करे, योगी वो है जो माया से बच के रहे, प्रभु के योग में रहे.
Thank you, Rekha. What Rekha has brought about is now moving from yoga to yogi. Who's a yogi? A yogi is what Lawrence just spoke. So prema yoga can become the one that ties the different types of yoga together. Like Lawrence spoke about compassion. Yeah, but if you love God so much, that loving God will make you seek God, will unite you with God, will create that oneness where two becomes one. But my dear friends, let's not get carried away by the talk. Let's come back to the planet. Yoga, I want to pause for a moment and bring you back. I want you all to understand yoga today. We are not here to talk some big things about yoga. Yoga means that you should be connected with SIP. You should be connected with the divine at all times. It is not practically possible to be connected with the divine at all times. It's like saying I'm watching the television, the same program for 24 hours. You can't watch the same program for 24 hours. And if you can't continue for 48 hours. And you can't watch the same program. So what do? You go from one program to another program. You go from one program and you go to cook your food. You go to eat, you have a shower. Then you go and you go to work. So there are different methods of being in yoga. The yoga of meditation, the yoga of devotion, the yoga of action, the yoga of education, the yoga of divine manifestation. If you are able to learn that today, then you will evolve from these people who say, I'm buying a new yoga mat because I'm in Shavasana. and I'm in Sukhasana. And I get very confused because I don't know all these Savasanas and Sukhas. I mean, I'm going for a wellness retreat for a few days, and I will be doing all this Shavasana and Sukhasana from day after tomorrow onwards. And they're experts in that. But that's not yoga. That's just preparatory steps for yoga. And what I want you to achieve today is I want you to achieve the ability to be a yogi, whether you can do it for 10 minutes a day or 10 hours a day. A yogi can be in yoga for 14 hours a day. He may be a bhogi for 4 hours a day. A person who is not accustomed to this may be in yoga for 10 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day. But how can you be in yoga? Bliss, Archie, Lavin, Anand again. Yes.
Hi,
Bliss.
Shwami.
Yes,
Shwami,
Bliss.
love you all. Yoga is 5 forms of yoga. You have dhyana, bhakti, karma, guana, and prema yoga. And
Good.
all this we have to reach Chit Pragya, qui est a steady intellect and consciousness. It's what the 5 yoga can do for us.
Good.
I am in the complex. I am in the subject. You understand everything I say?
I understand everything you say beautifully because you are a true student. You are a student of yoga, which means you are trying to be a yogi. You are trying to be a yogi.
Yes, and it's not easy because we are so in boga sometimes in the sense it's not easy to stay in yoga every day and for everything. So we have to reach the state when we can stay in balance.
Because Bliss, what happens when you are in yoga? Tell me what happens.
I stay happy because I know it's a show, it's a drama.
You know the 8 stages of spiritual awakening.
Will be
in
not
able. In the 8 stages of spiritual awakening, we talk of mumukshu, jigyasu, jnani, yogi. Unless you reach that state of yogi, you cannot become Buddha. You cannot become enlightened unless you are in yoga. And if you are in yoga, then you continue the journey of enlightenment. You continue the journey of spiritual awakening. So yoga is very, very, very important. Very important. Yeah. And what you spoke, Bliss, the 5 stages of yoga. So I think Archie, that's Richard. Yes, thank you, Bliss. I hope it's Richard, right, Richard? Unmute Richard, Archie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You do remember my name. Thank you so much.
Yes, Richard.
Yeah. So in regards of yoga, literally have not been practicing, but I have practiced yoga since my
yoga? What yoga have you practiced?
Practiced yoga. Okay.
What yoga have you practiced?
Literally from the beginning till the end, literally they made me to how exactly yoga my started was. I failed in talking about my personal experience. 8th standard, I failed. 8th standard, I failed. My neighbors told me, yoga, put him to yoga, he'll pass. But I did early morning, waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning and getting ready. 5 o'clock, we need to be in the institute. We practiced Virasana, Vajrasana, Simhasana, literally. And the final position was, you can be in any of the asanas, you need to literally sit. I practiced all that the whole year. And again, I failed in my 8th standard, the second time. So it's not that. But today, I am, my body is so damn flexible. It's with the nature. There's a lot of calling. When you spoke about Mother Teresa, I did work with Mother Teresa in Ministry of Charity, though. But today, it's not the calling of the, the energy level or whatever it is. It is the nature what is calling us. That you talk about AiR, the Atma. Literally, it's calling us. It's a positive energy that deals in it. When I look at you in a positive way, when I talk to someone in a positive way, we need to get that energy in it. I might be a seeker as I'm a new joiner in this particular event or in this particular call. But being a seeker, when I practice 17 years of that yoga teaches me, I won't say nothing, but I won't say something, but I won't say everything. But you're still seeking.
But
Till
Richard, very
there.
good. I appreciate that you're seeking and you're here and you're talking. I appreciate it all, right? But you've done 15, 17 years of yoga. If somebody had to ask you in one sentence, what was yoga? What is yoga? How would you answer in one sentence?
It's calling of the nature, because a Sunday we asked for a leave on a Sunday. They said, does the world stop? When the world stops, there might be an earthquake. You need to come on a Sunday also to practice at 5 a.m. Literally. So we need to be so active. It makes us very much active.
Okay. So very good, Richard. But one thing you must, since you're on this call, what you have learned is what is yoga for the body and probably yoga for the mind, to be able to still the body and to be able to be fit. What you're saying, my body is very flexible. My body, some babas will show you yoga on the TV and they will show you how to spin the body. They will go spinning. I'm sure you've seen that. I don't have to give the names of the babas. And they will spin. And people start thinking that yoga is gymnastics. But yoga is not gymnastics. Correct. Yoga is the ability, when you sit in that posture at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, what you probably have only missed is being able to connect to the Supreme. That is what you will get in this call. How to now do your yoga or be in that yoga. But now when you're in yoga, you will be in that yoga, but with a different perspective. So just up to now, Richard, you are probably saying, I need to do yoga up to now. But now you will change it to say, I want to be in yoga. Being in yoga, Richard, is different from doing yoga. So there's a small change in perspective, and I hope you will come back to us on this subject in days to come. But thank you for sharing. Thank you. We're going to Laveen. Thank you. Richard is a new member who is interested in the subject.
Yes, Shivoham AiR. Yeah.
Yes, Laveen.
Yeah. So after you gave this word yoga, yesterday I read up a bit like today, and I realize now by hearing all these questions, I am in Bhakti Yoga. I haven't done physical yoga. And reading today itself, I read this that yoga is a divine science which teaches us how to disentangle the soul from the phenomenal world of sense objects and link it with the absolute, which you were just saying, our connection with.
Yeah. But we say in simple words. What you're saying,
the progress which individual souls can become one with the Supreme Soul.
Yeah.
And it's essentially a union with God and us, and we can achieve it only by being in silence.
So what do you understand? Have you understand? You're beautifully saying it, but what have you understood?
That if I be more in silence and quieten my clutter that goes on in my mind, I can achieve this union. That's what.
So I'm asking you the question now, the most important question up to now, everybody on this call, the most important question up to now.
Yes.
So who has to be in yoga?
My mind has to be quietened. I have to be in consciousness.
Yeah. But who has to be in yoga?
My mind, my thoughts, not my body.
Just now, as per your definition, what you read out just now, your definition says that the soul has to be in union with the Supreme.
Yes. So not my body, but my sip inside me.
But the definition is wrong.
Okay.
The soul does not have to be in union with the Supreme Soul, because the soul is already a part of the Supreme.
Okay.
It is the body, mind, ego that disconnects the soul from the Supreme.
Okay.
Laveen, the person called Laveen, the body of Laveen, the mind of Laveen, the ego of Laveen is stopping the soul from being in yoga with the Supreme.
Okay.
When you are able to use methods to to be free from the body, mind, ego, automatically the soul will get connected to the Supreme.
Okay, so the means is to quieten your mind, right? Like to be
Correct.
silence.
This is what Anand said. Vritti, chitta vritti. I'm not very good in Sanskrit, but chitta vritti nirodhi. Yeah, you don't need to learn the Sanskrit terms. So the soul is our true identity. When we forget our true identity, we go from yoga to bhoga.
To bhoga, yes.
We become the body, mind, ego, and we are lost in the material world. And this is what your definition is, a beautiful definition, and it's a true definition.
It's a
So,
true definition.
all the institutes who teach, like Richard was talking of physical exercises, all the institutes which teach these yoga physical exercises, they know the real definition of yoga.
Okay.
They all know that it is union. They all know it is huge. But still they are teaching asana, prasana, shivasana, sanghasana, sukhasana, marasana. All they're teaching you all types of asanas.
Yeah, that will benefit us physically, but of course that
It will not give you yoga.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So today is very important. I'm happy. I'm so happy that everybody is picking from the sea. What happens is so beautiful. Now, Laveen did not know the definition of yoga. Laveen went and Laveen read and studied and brought a beautiful definition. That's the spirit of a seeker. Beautiful. And that's how we learn, and that's how we evolve, and we go beyond religion, and we go into the journey of spirituality. Thank you. We are back to Anand, because Anand has the privilege today to come as many times. Anand and Krishan and Siva and Sundar Giri, welcome back. Anand.
Yeah, Shivam Guruji, just two things I wanted to add. As you said, yoga is normally associated a lot with posture. But Patanjali, out of 200 shlokas, he has only one shloka on asana. He just says, Thiram Sukham Asanam. Other than that, he does not talk about posture. He just says.
But you tell me, while Patanjali has only one shloka out of 200 on asana, what does the world think is yoga?
Agreed. That's why I'm just, highlighting that.
Yeah.
And the reason I came back is because you asked for the definition of Samadhi as Patanjali describes it. So if you may, I will just read it out. I don't know it by heart.
Yes, please.
So he says, Tad eva artha matra nirbhasam swarupa shunya eva samadhihi. So in simple words, what it says is, when you continue to do meditation, it becomes samadhi when only your pure awareness remains.
Correct.
Almost as if there is no self-cognition. So that is his definition.
Beautiful. This is is it not what we speak?
Absolutely.
But what we try to speak is you don't have to go back to Patanjali to learn it. What I'm saying, if you go back to Patanjali, by the time you learn Patanjali, your hair would not be grey, it would not be white. There would be no hair left on your head. Then if there's no, I don't mean to tell. Anand will say you're telling me no hair left on my head. No, what I'm saying is that let us learn it the simple way, right, Anand? I hope you're there for the retreat, Anand. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm coming, sir.
Good, look forward. So you can please, we will give you one session to speak on Patanjali Sutra. Please prepare yourself. In simple words, you have to prepare with simple explanation. And I think our master Chidanand will also be there. He will be your facilitator. Chidanand, he will speak on Samadhi and Patanjali Sutras, and Chidanand will be your facilitator for the session. Thank you. Krishan.
Shivam Guruji, according to me, physical exercise or asana is not yoga. Yoga means when your consciousness merge with the Supreme, you add everything good in every activity. That's become yoga. Yoga means 1 + 1. If I see as my girlfriend as my lover, then it's only prem. When I see God in her, that's become prema yoga. When I see Shiv Mandir as a temple, then it's only bhakti. When I see God in that pujari, that's become bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means when I add God in every activity, that's become yoga.
Beautiful, very beautiful. और बढ़ना है, आप 2 ही एग्जाम्पल है, और कुछ बोलना है?
Many dhyana yoga, when I dedicate it, I see God, God and dog, God is equal. That's become yoga.
Very good. On Monday nights, I teach people on Monday night from 11 to 12. You know what I teach them? I tell them, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. When you don't see Shiva separate from you, when you realize you are nothing, only Shiva is, then you have reached the state of yoga. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. You experience Shiva inside you. You experience Shiva in all. So beautiful. What Krishan said. You don't see your premi as a premi. You see your premi as a devi. The moment you see your premi as a devi, that prem becomes puja. That pyar becomes puja. That is the challenge. That is yoga. That is prema yoga. Thank you. Siva Sundargiri. Nutan.
Yeah, Shivam Guruji.
Shivoham.
According to your teachings, only I only apply your teachings. I only listen to your YouTube and your class only I attend. So I will go according to that because I don't want to get confused. Yoga means union with divine. You have said it. They said this number of times. It's a way to moksha also. But yoga is one of the spiritual stages of awakening. One of the spiritual stages, because before that, mumuksha, jigyasu, jnani, then comes yoga. What yoga is? There are 4 paths to yoga: through bhakti yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, and dhyana yoga. So after that only, when awakened to the truth, he lives like a yogi. Bhakti yoga is when you connect with the divine. When you do bhakti, devotion, and it connects you to the divine, that is yoga, bhakti yoga. Karma yoga. Why there are 4 paths? Because we cannot do bhakti yoga throughout the day. At least I cannot do bhakti throughout the day. Bhakti, I start with meditation, which steals my mind completely with your Shivoham, this thing only. And after that also I can hear the inner voice. Shivoham, Shivoham, it keeps on saying that. Even 45 minutes, I put the tape and sit for meditation. And after that, bhakti yoga, then karma yoga. Of course, that is also part of my daily routine. From karma yoga to, whatever education, whatever knowledge I have got. So this is how, when one is awakened to the truth, he lives like a yogi, always connected to the Supreme, always constant union with the divine.
Very beautiful.
There is no duality, has no desires, and he is not a slave of his mind also. And he is completely, nothing matters to him. And this is my...
Very, very beautiful. But I have seen something beyond yoga in Siva. You know, Siva was not Siva. Siva was Vanita. And in the last retreat, she became Siva. And what I see, the devotion to sit through following a guru. The devotion is to sip. And the devotion to sip is so great that following a master sincerely, I see Siva on this call every day. 7 days a week, I see her on this call, living in yoga. And I can tell you there is tremendous progress in her life. Even without meeting her, I will meet hopefully in the month end, in the retreat. I hope you are also coming, Siva.
Yes.
So I'm saying this is the great benefit, where this is yoga. This is yoga in action. Siva being the way Siva, what she's saying, she's explaining yoga. She's saying I am focused on the subject. She's saying I am not distracted. His name is changed. She is consistent. This is a priority. She is connected. What is this? She knows the stages of awakening. What is this? This is a true yogi, Siva. Siva yogi. Siva yogi. This is what we need to be. And this will ultimately give us that state of awakening. Mumukshu, Jigyasu, Jnani, Yogi, both. Both. How to get that both awakening? Unless you continue your Mumukshu, Jigyasu, Jnani, Yogi, cannot become Buddha. But if you continue to be in yoga, 100% you will get to that level of Buddha. And then Sthit Pragya, Jivan Mukta, Satchidananda Atma. Thank you, Siva. Sundar Giri. Yes, Sundar Giri. Deepu.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Tell me, Sundar. Seeing you after a long time. Welcome back. What is your
Thank you.
What is your question?
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I want to answer about the yoga, sir.
Yes, sir. Please speak.
Is this the question that what is yoga, sir?
Yes, no, we are not. It's not a question. It is just subject of yoga. If you
Okay,
want to
okay.
tell something, you can tell. What is your understanding?
Yeah, in my understanding, yoga is to be conscious of own consciousness. That is yoga, sir, in one sentence. To be conscious of our own consciousness.
So somebody told me that we must be conscious, that we are conscious in our consciousness. And
Yeah,
somebody came and told me that's not enough. We should be conscious that we are conscious, that we are conscious of our consciousness.
Yes.
So what is better?
Yeah, we have to be conscious of our own consciousness.
But what about being conscious that we are conscious about being conscious in our own consciousness? My dear Sundargiri, what I'm saying, the moment you are in consciousness,
yes, sir,
you don't need to be conscious of your consciousness.
Yes, sir, yes.
You don't need a light. You don't need a light to show the sunlight. Imagine taking a torch. Imagine taking a torch and saying, I'm going to see the sun. Do you need a torch to see the sun? You don't need to be conscious of your consciousness.
Yes, sir.
Just my humble submission to you. Thank you. Thank you, Sundar. Ruth Anu, Premchandji. Ruth Anu and Premchand.
Shivoham Guruji.
Bolo ji.
Guruji, actually, I wanted to ask how to make a 15-year-old understand the cycle of life and death. Like my daughter, she got up today in the morning and she was crying because she had a dream that my pet dog was suffering. So now he is 6 years old, my pet dog, and the life will be maybe 13, 14 years or 12 years. So now how do I make my daughter understand that he will be united to Sib?
How about trying to make a 2-year-old understand?
Because 2-year-old,
how about trying to make a 2-year-old understand?
We don't need to make a 2-year-old understand.
So what I'm trying to tell
two-year-old
you,
will not understand.
So what I'm trying to tell you, it all depends upon your receptivity of your daughter. What is the ability of your daughter to understand? I don't know. Every 15-year-old doesn't have the same reception. Somebody at 10 years can understand. Somebody at 25 years cannot understand what a 10-year-old can understand.
How much maturity?
Yeah. So you have to try. You have to try to explain how there is arrival and there is departure, and how we come and we go, and how like the sun rises and the sun sets. So there is a journey and life. You must tell her the truth. You must try to explain. You know the problem is what? Ruth Anu, let me tell you the problem. The problem is we start telling children lies. We start telling children that God lives in the skies. Now, after teaching them lies, now we have to make them unlearn the lies. That becomes very difficult.
Guruji, I have realized some truths in coming in this call at this age. So in 15 years, I can't expect her
But tell her the truth. Tell her the truth and don't hide the truth from her. Okay? She's gone offline. Premchandji, she's lost connection. Tell her the truth, please. Don't tell anything other than the truth. Premchandji.
Shivam Gurudev.
Haji.
Anybody who follows the path of spiritualism is a jigyasu.
Yes.
And then he becomes matlab Gyan Yogi.
Yes.
And he can deliver thousands of lectures.
Yes.
But a guru like AiR, if go and ask him what is yoga, he won't be able to explain. Because the yoga needs action. And it starts with Satya. If you start with Satya and religiously follow Mukshatva, you will find all the, and you will pass all the crossbars of Patanjali Yoga automatically.
Beautiful.
Whether it is Satya, Ahimsa, Asta, purity of mind, purity of body, Prana Yoga, Sab Yoga. But he has to religiously follow Mukshatva. Until and one follows Mukshatva, he cannot be a yogi. What's your opinion?
Absolutely. 100%. So, देखिए, Premchandji, what you just said now. Yoga is a union between you and Sip.
Yes, sir.
If there is no mumukshu, if there's no mumukshutva, how can the union happen?
It can't be happen.
That's why I give the example of Prema Yoga, for example.
Yes, sir. So one can be a Gyan Yogi, but he won't answer your question about yogi.
No.
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure, Gurudev. He won't be able to reply what is yogi. Yogi needs action. Action means to follow the path.
Because what happened, many people, they think like, I told Richard said, I've been doing yoga for 17 years. I met Richard when I went for lunch that day. I met Richard. He just, by chance, he saw me and how did Richard meet me? Richard I was having lunch. And Richard saw me sitting and Richard came running to me. He said, you are Ravi Atma and Ravi. I said, yes. Then Richard came to me. How did that happen?
And it was my good luck that I came across you 1 year back. And I'm at present, I am able to discuss you.
This is the result of yoga. This is the result of mumukshutva. आप प्रभु के प्यासे थे. Richard was also wanting probably a better meaning in life. Premchandji, how did you find me? Not by luck. It was not luck.
I don't know whether it was a luck or it was a grace of God. But I found you and I got my to my aspiration.
अभी आप क्या बोल रहे हैं ना प्रेमचंद because of your deep love and longing for the divine, and whether you love, and you can do the love and longing through the premi, you can do the love and longing through bhakti, you can do the love and longing through jnana, you can do love and longing through karma yoga. It doesn't matter what type of yoga you follow, but it has to be that pyas.
Pyas.
Prabhu Pada.
Four P's is essential. Pyas, prarthana, prayas और प्राप्ति.
Very good. देखिए, that's why
पानी की प्यास चाहिए. वो आपको मालूम है, वो छोटकला प्यास वाला, सेठ दी वाला, रेलवे वाला, प्यास उतनी चाहिए.
So, my dear friends, how many people I know who are between their 80s and 90s, like Premchandji, who have got pyas for Prabhu? How many people? I have very few people. Many people who are after 75, 80, either they are living with fear, or they are worrying about who will take care of their family, or they are worrying about their death. So we have to have this kind of pyas like Premchandji. Thank you, Premchandji. Krishna, Ravina, and then Lawrence in the second round. Krishna, Ravina.
Yes, sir, Shivoham. Sir, all the previous, we used to always think that it is to do yoga, and it is only through an enlightened master you have taught us to be in yoga, one. And so many lessons we have got from this call. But yesterday, like last 2 days, what you said a sentence, okay, if you are in yogi, you will still be a part of the world, but a part of the world, apart from the world. So I think a true yogi lives as a ladi, and we are seeing you, and then we are free from the triple sufferings, we are free from our ignorance, and we are always in remembrance of SIP to any one of the 5 yogas you have taught us.
Yes.
So we are, yeah. Yes, sir.
No, continue. I didn't interrupt. Continue, please.
Yeah, so there are so many lessons here. When we think of yoga and yogi, both, it is not to do yoga, to be in yoga, to be in yoga with the supreme divine, to be in divine connection. And you always tell the example of a good connection, good SIM card. Everything, we have realized now, and to be as a lotus in a dirty pond, but the lotus is separate. And
Beautiful.
to surrender and to be.
I was waiting for you to give that example. Continue.
And so one more thing which I think, मतलब आपने जो lessons दिया है हमको, it has made us evolve from P to P to P.
So we must.
The world have reduced so much. Yeah.
Literally. So Krishna, what you say is very beautiful, but what that Kamal ka phool, that is a very good example. Kamal ka phool jaise झील में ना डूबता है, योगी भी माया में ना डूबता, ज्ञान ध्यान में वो रहता है, मन ना भटकता है, सांस सांस में प्रभु को चाहता, ध्यान में जीता है, भक्ति में जीता है, योगी प्रभु के साथ है जीता. So the kamal ka phool, the lotus is in a dirty lake, but it doesn't sink. It's always above the dirty waters. That's the yogi. The yogi is in bhoga, but doesn't sink in bhoga. The yogi is in yoga. Being in a world of bhoga, the yogi is in yoga. Thank you, Krishna. Very beautiful. We have last few people. I always tell you all, try to come in the beginning and you'll always come in the end, and we try to struggle, but we'll try to accommodate everybody before the end of the call. Ravina, but hard stop at 9 o'clock. Before 9, we have to close. Yes, Ravina.
Yeah. Shivoham, Guruji, the question is like you say, you can choose any part, like any kind of yoga, as long as you're constantly connected to God, right? Like
Yes.
if you said you can do like say singing bhajan or say like
Yes.
doing a good karma,
Yes.
and so you can choose any one part, or still higher than everything is meditation.
No. Meditation is not higher.
Yeah.
You cannot be in meditation full day. Ravina, is it possible?
Yeah, no.
Be practical.
Yeah.
You can spend time in meditation. Meditation is important, but you should not just do dhyana.
Yeah.
Through dhyana or meditation, there must be yoga. If your dhyana or meditation is not creating yoga, it's not yoga.
Yeah. So how do you need? How do you recognize, like, how the beginning is the love and the feeling of the union of God, right? That's the beginning. How do you train yourself? Like, how do you feel? Like, how do you start? Like, what do you do?
That's not the beginning. That's the end.
Okay.
In the beginning is you just sit in meditation and try to still the mind. You do what they say, yama, niyama. You try to still the mind. You close your eyes, sit quietly in meditation, try to connect with God. The mind will distract you. Suddenly your stomach will say, let me have a pizza. Then the distraction comes.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you are seeking God, if you are seeking union, then you will go from that dhyana, you will go to bhakti, you will try to do karma yoga, you will try to do jnana yoga. You will practice. It's called sadhana.
Yeah.
So sadhana means spiritual practice. You need sadhana.
I feel it is not we who are doing. I feel once you imbibe with the Lord, automatically you're like Khushbu, you're doing it with His will.
No. Automatically doesn't happen. Automatically it happens after you are enlightened.
Okay.
Then you have surrendered yourself completely. Then you're not in command. Then your car has no accelerator and steering wheel. But as long as you are driving the car, then it has accelerator, brake, steering wheel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chidanand. Chidanand, Jasmine, who motivated this call was Jasmine. So Chidanand and Jasmine.
Guruji.
Sir.
I think we have summarized it well because in Bhagavad Gita, I just got reminded, Krishna says, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. The highest form of yoga, as in Patanjali also says, beyond Samadhi, there is Samyama. So when you see oneness in all, SIP only is. Everything is manifestation of SIP. You will live in that divine oneness. And that is what Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, the highest form of yoga. That is literally what we say as Prema Yoga.
And how does it happen?
Serve SIP in all.
And how does it happen?
By be living as a Ladi all the time.
When you go through Mumukshu, Jigyasu, Jnani,
That
Yogi,
stage, yes.
then
Till you reach the stage of.
Then you get that awakening. When you get that awakening, then that non-duality comes. That non-duality is what you're talking about.
Yeah, Buddha and then on.
But to get to that state of non-duality takes a yogi a lot of time. Thank you.
It has to be in all forms.
You have to be in yoga, whatever form. It doesn't matter. You may be only prema yoga. If you are a person who is in a mountain and you don't have any prema yoga in the sense that you're only living with leaves and trees, then it may be bhakti yoga. It may be jnana yoga. You may not experience prema yoga. It may be only prema yoga. It all depends on you. What yogi? It doesn't matter what is the type of yoga, as long as you are in yoga. Jasmine, thank you, Chidanand, for your inputs. Jasmine.
Seth, I love you all. Thank you for the call today. I feel like I have a great understanding. I'm going to start practicing meditation, devotion, education, action, and love consistently to stay in union with self. So thank you. Can you do the SIM card example again? You told me it before, but I can't remember it. How you use that interrelation to being in union with self.
Yeah. So first of all, Jasmine motivated me to have the topic called yoga. So Jasmine, just like you have a mobile phone and the SIM card is connected to the satellite. The moment you lose network, if you put in a flight mode or you go under a cave or you go into a zone where there is no tower, you lose the network. So the SIM card is a good example of connecting to the satellite. And this network, this yoga is the network between my soul and the Supreme Soul. If something comes in between, then the yoga gets cut by the bhoga. Suppose today I am addicted to drugs. If I'm addicted to drugs, then my yoga goes into bhoga. I get disconnected from the Supreme Satellite. So often we travel to foreign countries. We have a SIM card, but our SIM card does not connect to the foreign network because there is no roaming in our SIM card. So we have to have we should be always connected to the Supreme Satellite. I hope you understood.
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to close, we have Rajendra, Bala, and Lawrence. Quick comments. Rajendra, Bala, and Lawrence. I saw Rumataji trying to speak. Yes.
Shalom, sir.
Good day, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Sir, I will summarize that I think that yoga is an ability of a seeker following any sensible or fruitful path of seeking, and who is able to make a permanent bridge between this world where he is living, material world, and the inner world, the spiritual world. He makes a permanent bridge and he is able to maintain this. Then we can call him yogi or he is yoga.
Beautiful summary. आज वो क्या कॉन्शियसनेस में क्या बढ़िया ऐसा एक सिक्सर मारा
ड्राइव करके आया 60 किलोमीटर थक गया हूँ, उसी में सोच थॉट आया।
आपका हमेशा आपका एक लाइन आंसर बेस्ट रहता है। बाला का भी अभी बाला का सुनते हैं, देखते बाला क्या बोलती है। यस बाला, थैंक यू राजेंद्र।
प्रणाम गुरुजी, लव यू गुरुजी। गुरुजी, अभी वी आर वॉकिंग ऑन द पाथ ऑफ रियलाइजेशन गुरुजी, तो व्हाट शुड बी आवर रूटीन गुरुजी? हाउ शुड दिस ये योगा सब कुछ उसमें इंक्लूड होना चाहिए था। हाउ शुड वी फॉलो द रूटीन?
You should spend the whole day in yoga.
गुरुजी, जस्ट टेल ना गुरुजी कि कैसा होना चाहिए द रूटीन गुरुजी। Please, please, please. So
You must start your day with a few minutes of dhyana yoga. You must do bhakti yoga. Whatever work you do must be karma yoga. You must have time for jnana yoga. And everybody you meet, you must meet with prema yoga. If you follow this, you become a yogi. If you can be like this, you are united with the divine. And then you will become one with Sip.
from tomorrow only, this routine I will follow.
From today. From
just
now.
Now till then when I'll meet you in the retreat now, then I'll tell you the experience, Guruji.
Lawrence and Rumataji, thank you. Lawrence and Rumataji.
Sip Shivam. Yeah, I agree. Atmosphere of yoga or meditation can be 24/7 for all of us. And yeah, so I just wanted to say my contribution here is simply I've loved the Gitanjali since, or Gitanjali from Tagore since college, and I was blessed to come upon this right now. Tagore says, and of course, I would love to learn the Bengali just to be able to sing it. This song offerings. This little flute of a reed thou hast carried over hills and dales, hast breathed through it melodies eternally new. And one more. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass, and still thou pourest, and still there is room to fill. So I think it's this dance and stillness with
Beautiful, but we are at the end of the call, so Lawrence, I can't comment much. Thank you for your poetry. Rumataji, thank you, Lawrence. Rumataji.
Now, Guruji, Shivoham. Guruji, in one sentence, I can say, when I don't remain I and you don't remain you, we become one, that is yoga. And one line, Guruji, आप में रब दिखता है मैं क्या करूं गुरुजी आप में रब दिखता है
Rumataji. Okay, Rumataji, just to close with your comment, yoga is that state. Yoga के द्वारा दो एक बन जाते हैं. It is yoga is the method. जब हम योग में रहते हैं, the two become one when we are able to be in yoga. With folded hands, thank you for your participation. I bow down to you. We'll see you tomorrow at 8.